On order. Member. Honourable Hikia Parata.
Court in terms of its contribution to lowering the cost of living. Under that previous administration, electricity went up 8% in every year, and let's remember here, those were great years when surpluses were being returned, and yet that same former government was raking off costs of ordinary New Zealanders, those whom that previous Speaker and that administration pretend to support. This government, however, understands how to both focus on keeping the costs of living down by keeping interest rates as low as possible, by working to get a competitive electricity market, by ensuring that consumers have in their own hands the ability to switch between power companies, by, on the other side of it, encouraging work and employment. First of all, this side of the House understands that it's not governments that create wealth, it's businesses, it's employers, it's ordinary Kiwis who back themselves. The other side of the House specialises in slicing and dicing and redistributing other people's money. Our side of the House specialises in how do we support businesses to grow opportunity, grow employment, how do we ensure that more tax stays in the pockets of New Zealanders, because we believe actually they make better choices for themselves than governments do. On this side of the House, we understand that we need to get the best value out of assets. I, as Minister of Education, am happily awaiting the possibilities that will flow from realising value out of our assets. This side of the House understands the distinction between ownership and shareholding. That side of the House doesn't. We want to grow the value of our assets. We want to reduce the cost on New Zealanders. We want to invest in and trust their ability to employ people, to grow the wealth and distribute it. That side of the House doesn't understand that equation. We understand that it requires a whole lot of levers. That's why we're having welfare reform, which again follows the principle and theme of investing in what people can do, not what they can't, in perpetuating independence, not dependence. Two significant differences between this side of the House and that side of the House. We want to invest in education because it has the medium, long-term ability to grow the economy, grow productivity, because we believe in New Zealanders who have skills. We believe that if they have skills, they can read and write, they can get jobs, they can keep jobs, and they can grow in those possibilities. That side of the House wants people angry and aggrieved and dependent on them. We don't. We believe in New Zealanders. We believe in this country. It is the little country that can. Under this government, under that government, it's the little country that can't. That side of the House and all its friends believe that the answer is borrow and pray. Our side of the House believes in the fact that we need to pay our debt, get it out of the way, support our economy so that New Zealanders can make choices for themselves and afford to pay for them. And we have done that in some of the toughest years this country has ever faced. Because again, we understand, appreciate and respect that wealth comes off businesses, of people working, of releasing value from assets, which is something we share, and picking up from my former colleagues' acknowledgements with Baroness Thatcher. She came into a country in as parlous a state as we came into this in government. She recognised that she had to break the hold of those opposition members who wanted to keep the greatness of that country and that empire down. We here on the other side of the world empathise with that and appreciate how important it is to do away with the constraints and the obstacles that otherwise would prohibit the flow of the creative and imaginative genes that New Zealanders have. That is why we're investing in science and innovation. That is why we are reducing compliance and costs. That is why we have a Minister of Health who is investing in New Zealanders being strong, in good state, well and able to look after themselves, not dependent, aggrieved and operating on myth and rumour and half-truths. Our government believes in strong New Zealanders capable of looking after themselves, not dependent on a bunch of, I see I'm being waved to sit down, but can I say, Mr Speaker, it is a delight to be on this side of the House with right-thinking New Zealanders who trust and believe in Kiwis being capable of delivering...
Members' time has expired. Stephen, order. Stephen.